Don't miss the tea. Subscribe now.
Girl, pour the tea. Well, pour me another glass of ice water because looking at my ankles right now, I think I'm retaining enough fluid to fill a swimming pool. You are not going to believe what I have been dealing with this week. I feel like I am literally about to pop, physically and emotionally. I am 38 weeks pregnant. 38. I am a ticking time bomb of hormones, back pain, and anxiety. We are so close to meeting baby girl number 2, and honestly, Chris and I are so excited, but I am also completely running on fumes. You know the drill. But the physical stuff, that's manageable. I can handle the waddling. I can handle the heartburn that feels like I swallowed lava. What I cannot handle, what is literally making my blood pressure spike every time my phone buzzes, is my mother. So here's the situation. You know my parents are in town, right? They drove in to help. And don't get me wrong, I am grateful. We need them to watch our oldest when I go into labor. That has always been the plan. They swoop in, take care of the toddler so Chris can be with me at the hospital, and we welcome the new baby. Perfect. Except naturally, nothing is ever that simple with my mother. Here is the thing that is driving me absolutely insane. My mother keeps relentlessly offering to stay at our house before the baby comes, like sleep over, in our guest room, in my space. While I am trying to mentally prepare to push a human being out of my body, I have already told her no. I told her no last week. I told her no the week before that, but she keeps bringing it up. She hits me with the, "Oh, but it would be so much help if I was just there in the mornings." Girl, help me. Help me. I honestly want to grab her by the shoulders and scream. Having you in my house does not relax me. Having you here makes my cortisol levels shoot through the roof. I literally think if she stays here, my body will go into fight or flight mode, and I will just refuse to go into labor out of pure spite. But what happens next? You won't believe how she reacted. My cervix will clamp shut like a bank vault just to keep the baby safe from her commentary. But I can't say that, can I? That's rude. I can't tell my own mother, "Your presence is actually a chaotic stressor that I am actively trying to avoid." You have to understand the logistics here to get why this is so annoying. It's not like they traveled from across the country and have nowhere to go. They have 2 houses. 2. They have their main house in the neighboring state, but they also bought a townhouse right here in our state, just a few towns over. They have a perfectly good bed, a coffee maker, and Wi-Fi at their townhouse. There is zero logical reason for her to be sleeping on an air mattress or in the guest bed in my house, hovering over me while I'm trying to survive late pregnancy. I feel like I'm rambling, but you know how strained things have been with her. Ever since I got pregnant with my first, the dynamic shifted. My mom is a my way or the highway kind of woman. She's controlling. She honestly believes that her opinion is not just an opinion, but the absolute gospel truth. Before I had kids, I just ignored her. But the second I got pregnant, she reverted to treating me like a helpless teenager. She expected me to sit there and take notes while she lectured me on how to raise a child, despite the fact that her parenting advice is 30 years out of date. So for the last few years, I've been doing this thing called an information diet. It's basically where you become the most boring person on earth. But the criticism, it's constant, it's the little things. Like I could go to the grocery store and buy apples, perfectly good apples. I'd come home and say, "Mom, I bought apples." And she would look at me with this pitying expression and say, "You know, oranges are in season right now. You really should have gotten oranges." Like, what? Why is my choice of snack wrong? Now imagine that energy, but applied to my labor and delivery. And then, the phone call that changed everything. Imagine that energy in my house while I'm having contractions. "Are you sure you're breathing right? You should be walking more. Why are you drinking ice water? You should have tea." I would snap. I would end up on the nightly news for matricide. So I've been sitting here all week, dreading the next conversation. I knew she was going to ask again. She's like a dog with a bone. She thinks if she asks enough times, I'll just wear down and say, "Sure, Mom, come on over and rearrange my kitchen cabinets while I bleed on a puppy pad." I wanted to ask everyone how do you say no without being a total witch, because I really didn't want to be rude. But wait, you haven't heard the update. This is the best part. Grab a cookie because I actually handled it. So literally just a little bit ago, my phone rings. I look at the screen. It's her. My stomach drops. I contemplated just throwing the phone across the room and blaming it on pregnancy clumsiness, but I knew I had to answer eventually. I pick up, and she doesn't even waste time with small talk. She goes right in for the kill. She asks directly, "So, have you thought about me staying over? I really think I should come pack a bag and stay in the guest room starting tomorrow, just in case." My heart started pounding. I felt that heat rise up my neck. I had all these snarky comebacks lined up in my head. I wanted to list every grievance from the last 3 years. I wanted to bring up the apple orange incident. I wanted to go full dramatic monologue. But then I just stopped. I remembered the advice I read somewhere about keeping it simple. I took a deep breath, channeled my inner Zen master, and I prepared to say the only thing that matters. What did she say next? The answer will shock you. I just said, "No, Mom. Sticking to the original plan is going to be what's best for me and the family." That's it. No Jade, justify, argue, defend, explain. I didn't give her a reason. I didn't say because you stress me out or because the guest room is full of boxes. I just said the original plan is best. And then, silence. Girl, the silence on the other end of that phone was deafening. It felt like an hour. It was probably 5 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. I could hear her brain whirring, trying to find an angle, trying to find a way to argue with what's best for the family. But because I didn't give her a specific excuse to tear apart, she had nothing to grab onto. I held my breath. I squeezed my eyes shut. And finally, she just said quietly, "Okay." I almost dropped the phone. She said okay, she didn't fight. She didn't cry. She didn't launch into a lecture about how ungrateful I am. She just accepted it. We said our goodbyes pretty quickly after that. I think she was a little stunned, to be honest, and I hung up. I literally slumped back onto the couch and let out the biggest breath of my life. So, it's done. The boundary is set. She is staying at her townhouse until I call her to say, "It's go time, come get the toddler." She is not sleeping here. She is not watching me sleep. She is not critiquing my grocery choices. I feel like a weight has been lifted. I mean, I'm still carrying a 7-pound baby, so physically the weight is very much still there, but emotionally, I feel like I can actually breathe. I think I finally cracked the code. You don't have to explain yourself. You just have to say no and let it sit there. It's awkward as hell, but it works. Anyway, thank God that is over. Now I just have to actually push this baby out. But at least I'll be doing it without my mother telling me I'm pushing wrong.